Voting isn't just going to the polls on election day anymore. Options like early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot drop boxes are available to more voters and are growing in popularity.
How to Vote, a tool created by Democracy Works, breaks down the options your state offers for casting a ballot, empowering you to decide when and where to vote.
Democracy works best when we all vote, but misinformation and confusion about election procedures have resulted in low voter turnout. How to Vote, a tool created by Democracy Works, takes the guesswork out of the voting process.
It's easy to use, and it helps folks from all over the country overcome many of the process barriers to voting.
Democracy Works is committed to helping you vote no matter what. Their tool, How to Vote, does just that.
You can use the tool to sign up for election reminders.
See what's on your ballot.
Get step-by-step assistance requesting your mail ballot.
Explore your options for returning your voted mail ballot.
Check your voter registration status.
Find your polling site.
And make sure that you have the appropriate ID.
Decide when and where you'll vote this year at howto.vote.
Hi, I'm Parker, and I use they, them pronouns.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I use he, him pronouns. And welcome to the
Graphic Novel Podcast.
Welcome to the weekly show where we discuss graphic novels, zines, mini comics, throw in a little bit of real life.
Sometimes we talk about queer issues, race issues, death, relationships, and so much more.
We come out each and every Friday. If you like the show, we'd love it if you went on Apple Podcasts and gave us 5 stars. And if you got time, give us a review. Visit Spotify or YouTube, any one of those places, and let people know that you like our show.
If you subscribe to the show, then it'll show up every week in your podcast listing on those Fridays when we post them. So it'll be there waiting for you to listen when you're ready. And most importantly, the best way to help this podcast grow, because we know you love it and want to share it with your friends, so do it.
That's right. You can interact with us on Insta, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you visit us at anchor.fm/graphic novel podcast, you can leave us a voice message.
We might play it on the next episode.
That's right. How's it going, Parker?
Oh, just dandy, I guess. How are you?
School.
School. Homeschool.
Yes, plus the blanket of smoke.
Oh my God, that makes it like 1,000 times worse. We can't open the windows.
Yeah. I mean, and I can't even imagine it's not 90 degrees.
I know,
anything.
I can't. We shouldn't complain because
we should complain because
we still have our homes. We don't have to.
Yeah.
I know, but there's people who are out of their homes and will, lost everything. So I shouldn't complain, but we can't go outside and it's awful.
Yeah. But everything is, if we take the blue states out of the equation, COVID is where everything it should be,
What?
That's what Dean Betts said. Take the blue states out of the equation, and COVID is good.
Wait, I don't understand though. That's not. I mean, of course, nothing that he says is true. But how is that?
Oh, he doesn't make sense by anything because he doesn't like the Democrats.
What's his logic though?
They don't agree with him. That's his logic.
Okay, but what's his logic about COVID being good? Because only the blue states are affected? That's not even close to true.
He's just stupid. That's bottom line. He's stupid. So, So we got a book that we read last week. Real good book. Langosh and Pepe, Fugitive Days by Veronica Post. We posted it on Instagram, which we do every week. We post it on Insta and on Anchor, and then it goes off to all of your different podcast feeds. And she responded and said, "Hey, thanks so much for your review." I thought, never mind. But then she also said, "I'd like to answer your question about the Chinese food scene in the book that we talked about because Langosh eats some bad Chinese food out of a garbage and has a diarrhea problem." And she said, "Yes, that really did happen." So, so that's And she puts a bunch of hysterical laughs. So it must have been, and 3 of them, because I
Sounds
think
like a
that's how many
fun-
poops she took there too.
I bet she didn't eat Chinese food out of the garbage can again.
Oh, no kidding. I think about that
Or a
too. Like,
dumpster.
I think it used to be years ago. It wasn't as big of a deal. Like my parents would come home and just leave Chinese food containers on the table,
Yeah.
and I'd get up in the morning and just like eat a bunch of it. But I swear that nowadays you can't leave food because it goes bad because I don't know what it is.
Are you kidding? You think it's changed?
In 30 years, yeah.
Yeah, you think that it's
Well, no, I
less
think that
processed
it's
now?
more. Well,
Because if it's more processed, then it likely has more
it could
preservatives,
so it
right?
could stay like out
stay
for
longer.
months.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, that logic is.
But it just seems like there's more like food recalls and stuff. Like there's bad
Oh my
food.
God,
And
no.
you
are like conspiracy.
Oh,
You're
I'm not
going close to those
I'm
conspiracy
not.
theories now.
Okay, and also Veronica says that I do.
It was food in the dumpster.
Also, I
You
do hope to
expect
do more
nice.
Langosh and Peppy books. There are a lot more stories.
Yes, I'm so excited about
Yeah,
that.
so we're looking forward to that.
I was so happy when I read that.
Yeah, that'll be great. So awesome to hear. Thank you, Veronica, for contributing to that. Yeah, very cool. So let's see what we're gonna do now. Okay, the 2020 Ignatz Award winners were announced at the virtual SPX conference over last weekend. We watched. They had a bunch of panel discussions that they pre-recorded.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And we watched some of them, and it was kind of cool because we started watching that show Woke, and the creator was on one of the panels, and he was hosting the one panel. It was his panel.
Mm-hmm.
He was hosting it, and he was doing a PowerPoint slideshow. And talking.
What was that on? Netflix?
No, it was on YouTube.
No.
Oh, the show?
The show. Woke.
I don't remember.
I think it was Hulu.
It might be Hulu, yeah. But yeah, it's really good. It's a good show, and we've only been through a few episodes because we want the kids to watch it because
Hulu.
It's because it's got some good woke stuff, that our kid can learn from, and it's funny. He's like, if you saw this in my show, I said it first. It wasn't in my show first. I actually said it first. It wasn't, and it's good because
it's still his show.
So the character's obviously loosely based around him and stuff that actually happened to him, where he kind of became woke when he got accosted by the police for being a 6-foot black man, even though he's not a 6-foot black man, because they were looking for that. But anyhow,
yeah, hanging flyers.
Yes. So let's see. The Ignatz Award the outstanding artist went to Rosemary Valera O'Connell. Outstanding anthology, Be Gay Do Comics, edited by the Nib. Outstanding collection was Gleam, Eddie Carrasco. Outstanding comic was Cry Wolf Girl by Ariel Rees. Outstanding graphic novel, Hot Comb, Ebony Flowers. Outstanding mini comic, Black Hole Heart by Kathy G. Johnson. And we're going to be doing a new mini comic segment once we start getting some more mini comics together. I think we need to make sure we contact all these people and let them know. Outstanding online comic, Witchy by Ariel Rees. Outstanding series, Fizzle by Whit Taylor. Outstanding story, The Hard Tomorrow by Eleanor Davis. And promising new talent is Theo Stoltz. Congratulations to all the winners. Now, apparently, the judging panel consisted of November Garcia, Malka Garib, 2 people that we've read books on, and Rosemary Valera O'Connell and Scott Cederlund. And apparently some people were questioning that Rosemary was one of the judges, and she also won something. I'm sure she didn't vote for her own thing. if she didn't just recuse herself from that category completely, I would think that she would have voted for somebody else. I mean, it would make sense.
Maybe she thought hers was best.
I mean, of course you do, but you can't do that.
I don't know if you're going to judge something like that. I don't know that you automatically. I mean, do you think all of your work is the best?
No.
So I don't know. I feel
you're
like,
right, and especially creators, they usually have a little lower self-esteem, so they don't think that.
Well, I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that she does. I'm saying
say
no. I'm not saying that she does, but I'm saying a lot of times they're like, yeah, you know.
Well, I feel like especially in this out.
What are you trying to say?
What am I trying to say?
What are you talking about?
In this, not in graphic novels, I feel like, well, cartoons. Well, I don't know. In this arena, I feel I don't know what I'm trying to get to, but it kind of drew a picture there.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of times artists aren't. I feel like they're not really competing with each other.
A lot of them aren't.
You know what I mean? They like have these other people that they, really, aspire to be.
Yeah, they all love each
and support. And so I don't think that that's such a conflict.
I think straight white men, there might be a little difference.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There are some
skate thing. I guess I'm thinking just of the people that we've read.
The people we've read are good
and
people.
Follow and stuff. So I guess you're right. There is that branch of people who are just scumbags.
Yeah.
As with, I mean, that's that way with anybody. There's queer people who are shitheads too.
Yes, there are. All right, one last thing here. Let's see. The Canadian Comic Book Association Awards Association proud to present the nominees for the 16th annual Joe Shuster Awards and related honors for work published in 2019. Canada has a rich tradition of supporting our national arts communities with awards that recognize the achievements of our citizens in books, music, stage, television, and film. And the Joe Shuster Awards, including several other awards, are Canada's national awards program that honor and raise the awareness of Canadians that create, self-publish, and sell comic books, digital comics, and graphic novels. So we've got Best Artist, Ken Lashley. Ken Lashley is somebody that I actually went to his house back in the 90s when I did Comics TV. Oh, come on. You're slow to catch up there. There he is. Ken was working for Marvel Comics, and it looks like he still is. And Amazing Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Bloodshot. And he did something for Valiant Comics, that Bloodshot. But yeah, he's Canadian. I remember the big thing he told us. And if you look up, I don't remember if I have the interview with him. I don't know if that episode came up of Comics TV. But yeah, we went to and hung out at his house for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lives in the Toronto area.
Oh.
But yeah,
I love Canadians.
He his big thing was, he said, I'm Canadian, but I take payment from Marvel Comics in American dollars because they were worth more.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. Writer Jeff Lemire, Mariko Tamaki. Those are two people that we've read their books. Let's see. Cartoonist Jeff Lemire. It's the only one that we've read anything of so far. Cover artist Sweeney Boo. We haven't read, but we talked about a book coming out by them. Unfortunately, we haven't done any of these web comics or digital comics. And then there's some other things. The Gene Day Award for self-published comics or graphic novels. Unfortunately, none of those we've done, but it's a good chance for us to look at some other comics that we haven't seen before. So I'm going to look these up. I mean, we did get these couple from Conundrum Press that they're really good. Conundrums out of Canada. So definitely going to look these up. We'll let you know about the Joe Shuster Awards when the nominations or when the awards are released. So, I guess that's all the news I've got for this week. Ready to get into the rest of the show?
I think so.
And like we mentioned, if you have a mini comic or you know somebody that does mini comics, hit us up on Twitter at our Graphic Novel Pod, because we are going to be start reviewing them. Just a small segment, just like one comic a week. But yeah, if you do mini comics, we'd love to check them out. We did a few that we had picked up at Short Run in Seattle last year.
Oh, that's right.
And we have a couple more, actually.
Short Run, gosh.
A couple more.
That was a year ago, wasn't it?
Almost, yeah.
Wow.
Anyhow. All right. We got 2 books this week. So we'll probably play the music twice. First one, though, is called Death Threat. It's by Vivek Shraya and Nestle. Shraya,
I think.
Yeah.
In the fall of 2017, the acclaimed writer and musician Vivek Shraya began receiving vivid and disturbing transphobic hate mail from a stranger. Acclaimed artist Nestle brings those letters and Shraya's responses to them to startling life in Death Threat, a comic book that, by its existence, becomes a compelling act of resistance. Using satire and surrealism, Death Threat is an unflinching portrayal of violent harassment from the perspective of both the perpetrator and the target, illustrating the dangers of online accessibility and the ease with which the vitriolic hatred can be spread digitally.
Yep.
The words just are not coming out of my mouth.
No, it's okay. We're not recording at a normal time. So Vivek is an artist whose body of work crosses the boundaries of music, literature, visual art, and film. Her best-selling book, I'm Afraid of Men, was heralded by Vanity Fair as, quote, cultural rocket fuel. And her album, Part-Time Woman, with Career Songbook Orchestra, was included in CBC's list of best Canadian albums of 2017. And Nestle is an illustrator and artist based in Toronto, Canada. Her illustrations have been chosen for award publications, and she continues to explore her practice using a wide range of mediums, such as ceramic drawing, painting, mixed media, and sculpture. So the book from... Who is this press? I forgot who it is, who published it. But it is from Arsenal Pulp Press. Oh, and coloring is by Emmett Fan and Hayang Tang. They're the ones who did the coloring. Arsenal Pulp Press out of Vancouver. And I believe I picked this up. This is during when COVID first hit and a lot of places were closed. And Arsenal was one of the places that said, hey, we'll send books if you order them directly from us.
Yeah.
So that's where I originally picked this up. So I picked it up months ago.
Just a few
Months
ago.
I picked it up probably in April. So the book is vividly drawn, bright and dark and colors, and the artwork is it is very surreal, very kind of like dreamlike.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a ton of words. It's a lot of it is just the quotes directly from the emails, the threats, because they're a trans person. They're a trans woman.
Yep.
And this person, whoever they are,
she gives the name, right?
Yes, it looks like an Asian name or something, doesn't it?
I don't remember.
But
and you have the book in front of you.
Nain Yoyokama.
Oh.
I mean,
could it be a fake name?
I don't know. There's a whole address too.
Is there the whole address?
There's a full address. I don't know if it's fake or not. But
I mean, who really cares? They're assholes, right?
They are without.
Or they're an asshole.
They are without a doubt an asshole. And their whole point is that
an asshole doesn't begin to describe my feelings of this person.
No, they're disgusting. Do not be afraid, Viveka. I will not harm you. What I have told you is meant to protect you.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and it's. I mean, I think it's a really important work of art, because I don't think that people really recognize how dangerous it is to be trans, and I think that Black trans women have an extremely high murder rate, and I don't think that people even think about the fact that she didn't do anything except exist online. And this person found her and stalked her
Mm-hmm.
and sent these horrible messages to her.
Oh yes, threatening.
I mean, talking about her death and
threatening about her death, and using God as a reference there. Like that's like it's okay because of that.
Well, and that's what's so funny too. I mean, it comes back to the whole religious thing. It's, religious people tend to use that and say that it's okay. Like, it's okay that I'm hateful, even though Jesus says that I shouldn't be hateful. He hung out with the lepers and the sex workers and everything. But no, I'm going to hate on you just because you exist.
But they do all those kind of things
because it's okay because you're anyway.
I don't understand the hate just for the hate. I don't get the point of it. But we could talk about the hate that this person was spewing forever. Let's just talk about the beautiful book that it is.
Yes, the artwork is it's full color. The artwork is so amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, it really. I know. I think we mentioned at the beginning of the interview that it's very abstract, but it kind of
interview. You mean episode? We're not interviewing anybody.
Oh, I was interviewing myself, I guess. But I mean, it's just has. It's beautiful, and I know they say in the back that they struggled for a bit because this person didn't contact anymore. Didn't contact her anymore. So, and she had already had this idea to do this comic and bring it to life. And it's like, well, now what are we gonna do? Because they stopped hating on me. But they found a way to put it all together, and it's really nice.
Yeah, I think the two of them worked really well together. It looks like. I mean, the emotions and the struggle really come through.
Yeah,
in the art, which I mean, that's really important when you're doing graphic novels. And there's several pages. I mean, the whole thing is just the correntence.
Yeah, really. It's like,
but that's
on
not.
The phone, yeah.
But I mean, it would take you 10 minutes to read through correspondence. I mean, this is like you can feel the emotion.
Yes, anxiety and pain and the death, the hatred coming and all of that.
And just her being terrified every time her phone goes off, right?
Yeah. And they bring her parents into it too. Like, your parents hate you because you're not who they think you are. You know that.
Right,
so
exactly.
So she's terrified about that too, that her parents, might really think that.
So let me ask you a question. So in the book they show trolls, right?
And
yeah. We write about, we talk about, that's like a, known lingo, right? On the internet, what a troll is. When you have said this in the past, when you've talked about trolls, do you get an image in your head of what some people never get images in their head. So that's why I'm curious, because whenever I get the image of a troll in my head, I pictured these 1980s, 90s trolls with the wild hair and the gem in their belly button. And
I had a girlfriend who collected those.
Did you really? Which one? You don't want to say? Okay.
Kelly.
That does not surprise me. That is exactly who I guessed.
Did you really?
I don't even know these people, but that was my first guess.
Yeah, she was a weirdo. She was a witch too.
You could have.
She was one of. She was a little bit of everything.
You could have just said loophole. I would have known exactly.
But
anyway, but I like that because that's always what I picture.
That's exactly
but I think sometimes when I stop and think about it, I'm like, probably not everybody. If you are the type of person that pictures stuff in your head as you're reading stuff or whatever,
right?
You might not picture a troll like those trolls, but that's what I see when
as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, trolls, and we happen to watch a troll movie too, so it's like,
so in your head, that's right, we did just watch that last night, didn't we?
But I don't normally think of it because I think of trolls. I think of some fucking loser sitting in his basement,
So you just imagine what the actual person is.
I just imagine losers.
maybe part of that is the dehumanizing that I do so that I
I understand. Yeah,
you know what I mean,
to make them trolls. Exactly, which is what they did there. They dehumanize. I mean, she does talk about what she imagines he is, some troll sitting in a basement at his mother's home. Some 30, 40-year-old guy, loser.
But that's but that's not even necessarily who it is. I mean, this could be somebody's grandmother.
It could be. Yeah.
And I mean, not that it. I mean, I won't go into my thoughts on the troll because
they're trolls.
Jerks. But so well worth it. Worth the.
That's a good book,
and just the heartbreak, the pain that was caused. It just you just feel for her so much. So do you want to add anything else?
No.
So head to arsenalpulp.com. You can purchase that. Like I said, just great book, and so many of us in the LGBTQ community have felt this hatred towards us. Really, all the marginalized groups.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah. All right. Going on to our next book. This book I had an inkling of what it was about, but not really. Maids by Katie Skelly. I suppose you should read the
Every day is the same until it is not. Leah, did you decide how you were saying it? Leah and Christine are...
Because they're French, so...
You think it's Leah?
Probably.
Leah and Christine are maids. Mornings are for cooking and tidying. Their mistress is strict, gardening at midday. If they're fired, they will be homeless. A young lady is getting married. Family and religion has failed them. In the evening, they smoke cigarettes and reminisce. On February 2nd, 1933, they will murder everybody in the house. God, that took a turn. Both a true crime saga and an allegory of societal collapse, Maids finds artist Katie Skelly and her most subversively naturalistic. To observe people serving day in and day out is to become acclimated to the lie that some are born to serve. Everything that is will be forever. Won't it?
All right. Yeah. That. I mean, you know what it is right away. You know what the book's about, but you don't know the story. I'm guessing that Christine and Leah Papin, I would guess that's how you say their name. Papin. It's French, so it's got to have some type of Frenchness to it. Katie Skelly lives and works in New York City. Her previous comics include My Pretty Vampire, The Agency, Operation Margarine, and Nurse. Skelly holds a BA in art history from Syracuse University and was awarded the Emerging Artist Prize at Cartoon Crossroads Columbus in 2015. This is from Fantagraphics Books. Thank you to them for sending it our way for review.
I forgot to mention on our last book. Can I break?
Go ahead.
There's the last book. 2 awards. They're shortlisted for a Lambda Literary Award 2020 and shortlisted for Doug Wright Award 2020.
Oh, awesome!
I was going to say that and then forgot.
Oh, it's okay.
I had it up.
So read this book.
Back to Maids.
And read the book, and it intrigued me. So I did a little searching on the internet, and apparently there's even more to this story.
I'm sure. I mean,
they're 2 sisters. There's been podcasts about them. There probably have been movies about them, or at least series like true crime things. But I mean, the very first picture of it is an eyeball laying on the ground, and a girl picking it up. I mean, just hands. There's like the first 3 pages. There's no dialogue. It's just these pictures, and the pictures. It's
a nice little introduction.
Yeah, it gives you a little idea, and I love the colors. It's
full color.
They're full color, but it's muted. They're not like in Death Threat. They're like vibrant.
Yeah.
These are like muted colors, and it probably goes really well with. It's the stories about these 2 girls who had their mother, an alcoholic mother, who didn't take care of them. The one ended up going into the convent. The other one's still in school and everything, but she gets in trouble. She misses her sister and everything, and she ends up in the convent too. But then she can't handle that either. She may be a little slow Do you think that that's a possibility?
Yeah, it definitely sounded like there could be some kind of mental
mental
thing
illness
happening.
or something.
Yeah.
So she may have been a little slower than her sister, and she wasn't grasping or didn't want to grasp everything. She didn't want to follow. She didn't want to do all the rules and go to church and do all the stuff that they had to do at the convent. And her sister eventually ages out, and she goes to work for a wealthy family
Right.
as a maid. And then the other one ages out, or they kick her out. They kick her out.
Right.
They kick her out. So her sister gets her a job there too.
Yes, she was. I mean, she knew what she was doing. She's, sounded like really talking up her sister to her, what do they call it? Mistress.
Yes.
And
she could cook. So yes, bring her in.
Yes. It sounds like flat out lied about, about everything.
Yeah.
To get her to hire.
Mm-hmm.
I put that in quotes.
Right.
Since you guys can't see me, put that in to get her to come so they could be together again.
Right.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's any different than what I don't know, was their treatment of them different than you would expect to be? Like, I feel like you get a glimpse into this life of
well, the only
class.
Yes, the only two people there are the mistress and her daughter. Apparently the husband's on a business trip, so you don't ever see him.
Yeah, it was a really short period of time between
that this whole thing took place.
Yes.
Oh yes, it's a whole book. It took place in, I think, just a couple weeks maybe.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. I thought maybe I missed something.
No, okay. I don't think so, but yeah
it's
no, but you were starting to say about the class. You get to see this dynamic playing out between
right.
these two
and like you said,
girls.
In such a short book, you get quite a glimpse, the abuses and the so and it really makes you wonder about how much can someone be pushed before they do something that it didn't seem it seemed so like you said, in the first picture she's picking up the eyeball with her bare hands.
You're not quite sure where that goes. I'm not sure how that fits into the whole story, but it is interesting. Unless it comes all the way around from the very end. What
do you mean?
Because at the very end, you know what happened there.
Right. Yeah, so, that's what I think is happening.
So you think that's what it is, and it's just
it's just to bring it around. Yeah.
But you don't know that.
No, but it introduced, like, it doesn't hide the fact that it's, even in the intro, it talks about murder.
Yeah. And
if you know the I didn't know the true story that it came from.
Right.
But if you do, then that's why I think they don't try and hide anything about what's happening.
It happened in Le Mans, France. That's where it took place.
Okay.
1933. So October or February 1933 is when it happened. But so
how fitting that it comes out in October of 2020.
Oh,
it isn't out yet.
Oh, it's in February. It's February 1933.
Oh, I thought you said October.
I possibly did, but it says February. Maybe I just can't.
Maybe I heard you wrong. I don't know.
I can't read. I can't read and speak at the same time.
It is very difficult task.
Okay, so Leah is the younger one, I believe, the one that came in second. The blonde, is Christine.
Okay, right.
So she's there first. Christine is there first, and she's smoking. As soon as the mistress is out of the way, she goes and grabs a cigarette, and she's like, "You don't smoke." Do now, and then she pulls out like this box of trinkets that she's stolen from them, like jewelry and stuff. And and
they have so much so they wouldn't even notice.
Mm-hmm. But then Leah pulls out this rosary that she stole from the nun, to show, look I got your rosary and brought it to you, So it's like they're very similar, and it shows them sleeping together, back to back, holding hands. But according to some of the stuff I read, it sounds like they may have had an incestuous relationship too.
Oh, okay.
So
I think that's. I feel like that's kind of what it was showing.
You think that
because I read it without any background knowledge, I just picked it up and started reading it.
I wondered
because I like to go into it. So at first I wasn't sure what the relationship was.
Yeah. Well, did she have her own room? I thought she had her own room, or does she share the room? Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say. I mean, the mistress was basically paying the two of them as one. She didn't want to pay for both of them. I think it was kind of like, there's the two of you come in here. We're going to pay for, because later on she talks about that.
I thought later on she said something along the lines of, I'm paying two of you to do one job.
Oh, you think maybe I got it backwards?
Yeah, I think that's what she said.
Well, because Leah can't cook and she doesn't know how to clean. She doesn't know how to do anything. She has to learn on the fly.
And it seems more like Christine is just doing both of the work, which is what that's.
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
That the work isn't getting done because she's trying to teach.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to do the expectations of two people, which really I think only the mistress's expectations. I think it'd take most 4 people probably to do the work that is being expected of them.
Right.
And Christine is obviously not capable of doing that much work in one day.
Right.
And so to her, that's 2 people doing work that the mistress anyway,
yeah,
that she would expect of 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that?
Yeah. I mean, there's this whole little bird escapade thing going on that you have to see.
Oh, that's what you meant by the mental illness.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't.
Well, because there's some flashbacks to back to the monastery and monastery.
I don't know.
Convent. Monastery is the monks.
Right. Yeah.
The convent, and
it's all religious.
Yeah.
Crap.
But yeah, you're right.
I was going to say garb, but
I mean, yeah, it does. I mean, there's nothing in. Katie Skelly probably knew some of this other background.
I'm sure. It seems like she knows the story chose
to make it a very interesting story. I mean, there's like pages where there's no dialogue. You're watching them do their work and
yeah. What's interesting is that have you seen a lot of true crime novels or true crime graphic novels?
Not true crime. I mean, we read.
But isn't this an interesting way for it to come out? Yeah, I mean, this was really good. And
we read Bad Weekend, which was a crime story, but it wasn't.
Right, but it wasn't like a true crime. And true crime is, especially with podcasts right now.
I know, and
it's such a huge thing, and I feel like Fantagraphics is on top of it, getting to this stuff. Because I think this could take off. You know what I mean?
And I've got true crime stuff that I've written that I've like, oh man, how could I turn some of these things into comics like this?
Yeah.
Now these were originally separate. She had originally done these as like short comics herself.
Oh, each of the chapters, you think?
Yeah, I believe each one. And then Fantagraphics compiled it into a nice graphic novel. But it's really good. The story. The way she laid it out, I mean, it's just straight ahead. Yeah. It's really cool the way it's laid out, and I enjoyed. Yeah,
I loved it. Honestly, I loved it, and it intrigued. Like it made me want to go and do some more reading into the story here.
Well, that's why I said I did some searching, and that's where I found some of the other stuff because I didn't know about that stuff.
Yeah, when we read books, I try. I like to come in fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I like to I don't even read the synopsis or anything usually.
Good.
I mean, some of them I know what they're about from picking them or whatever, but,
right?
Or from knowing the author sometimes. But this was just, I loved it. I loved it all.
Yeah, no, it's really good, and she really was able to pull this. Her art style is very interesting too.
Yeah, I did like her art style, and especially for this kind of thing too.
Yeah.
You're talking about, but because it can't be. I mean, it can be, I guess, but it's not realistic. But it's not
like super cartoony, fakeish. I mean, she does. I mean, a lot of it is people. I mean, so she's drawing these people throughout it.
But she doesn't like shy away from kind of the graphic stuff either.
No.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Yes, there's a little bit of nudity and then some graphic violence, but it's you put this all together and
vomit at one point. I mean,
it shows how this mistress and her daughter, were just taking advantage of these girls. Really, they didn't care anything about them. They were just there doing what they were supposed to do. They're supposed to be cleaning and cooking and doing all these things and waiting on them when they have company and making sure the dinner is ready on time. And I mean, I give these girls credit for even being able to pull that shit off to begin with.
Right.
I mean, having dinner ready for a dinner party. Who the fuck knows how to do that? I've cooked dinner for groups of people hundreds of times probably. And it's not easy to get everything together and cooked and ready on time.
I think hundreds of times.
In my life, yes. I've been married a lot. So
oh my God.
So
how many times have you been married, Mike?
23. But anyhow, but it's not easy. I'm saying even just small gatherings, barbecues, things like that.
No, I know. Oh,
You know-
barbecues count. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, sure. I'm not
I
saying
know, but I feel like
Thanksgivings.
barbecues are a little bit easier because everybody, usually everybody kind of, knows what's going on, and you got the whole, it's real
Well, yes,
casual. I mean, everybody knows it's pretty
yes,
casual. I guess
yes.
is what people will snack and.
But
whatever.
we've done a lot of holidays too, and
We have.
it's tough to get everything together and
I
ready
guess
at the same
hundreds
time.
isn't that unrealistic.
Over
I'm just thinking
times.
on my own. I forget you have more years of experience with me. I love you.
I love you too. But but it, this is one of the books we chose this one because I saw it and because it was true crime, because I love true crime. I love crime stories.
My edible kicked in a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, good. But and the class warfare, comes out here in the end. I mean, they're two girls who are just trying to get through life, and
Survive.
they were dealt a bad hand by their mother, who really didn't give a shit about them.
Yeah, definitely not.
And when Leah comes back because she got kicked out of the convent, mom's like, what am I going to do with you? I can't do anything with you, And they show some flashbacks of the drunk mom pounding on the door and stuff, and the girls, cowering together and protecting each other.
Yeah.
So they've always tried to look like take care of each other.
Right.
And in the end, they do. They take care of each other and their mistress.
That's how I felt with my brother when we were little. He was always very protective of me.
Yeah.
I don't think he is so much anymore. But
you don't need a protector.
No, I don't. I definitely don't. But I'm saying that protective attitude. I don't think that I hope he doesn't feel that way anymore. Because, right. Like you said, I don't need it. But it's probably kind of hard to get out of that mentality. And when you are literally, keeping each other alive, it's it was. I mean, I can't be surprised at how it all turned out, honestly.
No.
Because it's like, yep. If you have to make it survive.
Yeah.
If you have to survive and, help each other survive, then.
Yeah, I don't. I had.
Did you feel protective over your siblings like that?
Yeah, I was just it's just running through my head, and I don't think I did. I mean,
you were a lot further apart in age too.
We were,
that made a difference.
3-4 years apart, and I was out playing when they were in the house because they were little and they were being watched. So I would go out and be gone for hours and hours at a time. And I don't think even as I got older, I mean, it was probably stemming from that originally that I just, there was only one time I remember being protective over my sister when she came home and said some guy tried to molest her or something.
Right.
And I was going to get my brother and we were going to go find him, but she told us not to because I guess he didn't really do anything. But it was
that
just
probably isn't a story that you should go into too much detail.
That's all I know.
That's her story to tell.
Well, that's all I know.
Yeah.
But I was part of it because I was going to do that. I don't know any other part of it. That's all I know.
Okay.
But
anyway, sorry. Yes,
yeah,
you're going to go kick a guy's ass for being inappropriate.
Yeah. So anyhow, Maids by Katie Skelly, really good book from Fantagraphics.
From Fantagraphics, you can pre-order it. It looks like.
Oh yeah, it's not even out yet.
So yeah, it comes out in next month, October. So October 2020. So get a hold of that through Fantagraphics, and you can check her out at katieskellycomics.com.
Yeah, awesome. Really good book. If you like true crime, it's very cool.
Oh man, if you like, I'm not even a huge true crime fan, and I loved it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, until next week, my name is Mike.
And I'm Parker.
And this is the Graphic Novel Podcast.